As markets begin to rebound and then go back down and rebound and go back down, it's a crazy time to be in the stock market. But one company that's caught a lot of attention recently, you can tell by the volume and just the share price over the last recent few days, is Relevium Technologies. And for that reason, we brought on Aurelio Useche. You are the president and CEO. My good man, welcome.
Brandon, how are you?
Doing well. Hey, it's been a long time since we last spoke. If you can get investors up to speed with what you've been up to over the last few months.
Wow, I have to tell you, like you said, it's been quite a ride. We never thought we would be trading at a penny. In my life, I would have never thought. But anyway, so we went with the market, and we've been actually, for the most part, we've been kind of quiet about what we're doing, simply because we figured, we're a penny. The markets are terrible. Obviously, the coronavirus has thrown a wrench in the financial markets. Never mind the mess in the cannabis space. But so we've been, let's just say, promotionally quiet, and we'll be just sticking to our business and trying to run our business the best we can. So it's been quite a ride.
Yeah, absolutely. And as we continue to go through everything coming back to really a little bit normal, we're not there yet. But when you're looking at a lot of companies, you've seen, like you said, trading at a penny just a little while ago, you're seeing these valuations come down. But then you're looking at certain companies that are putting up revenue. They're getting things done, but there's just such a decoupling between fundamentals and market cap right now, where, as I said earlier, it just doesn't make sense. But recently, I believe last year you did around 4 million in revenue, and I know you had a really good spike in volume and share price very recently, but the market cap of your company did not seem to match that. Do you think that's obviously something that's all across the space right now? It's not necessarily a Relevium specific thing whatsoever from the looks of it.
Look, I think so. When I look at companies that I thought were going to be winners in the space, and then I see them also trading at a penny, penny and a half. It doesn't make sense. These are companies who are trading at a dollar. So I think there's a bit of an effect in terms of the space. But I think from the point of view of Relevium, we have other forces as well. I mean, as you mentioned, we issued the news release last quarter. We had a pretty decent quarter. It wasn't stellar, but it was a little bit higher in sales, and we did do some cost cutting measures and so on. The market didn't care. In fact, the valuation of the company went down. So seeing that and seeing that any message we were give to the market was not well received, we decided to focus on running the business and ride the wave. Fact is, everyone is in the same problem. All companies right now are facing valuation issues. And the focus is right now try to survive this the economic impact of this coronavirus, right? So yeah, I mean, we're excited. I think there's opportunities. It's sad to say that we would leverage an opportunity based out of a chaotic situation worldwide. So rather than leveraging opportunity, I'm saying we're trying to be part of the solution in our small way.
Yeah, absolutely. And for all these companies, again, you've just got to make sure that you're focusing on your company and you're pushing forward. So why don't we go with a few of the updates that have happened recently, more specifically on the fact of shipping. You had an announcement saying that you shipped out $130,000 of a $1 million deal to Saudi Arabia. Do you have any idea for when that other $8.7 million is being shipped out? And more specifically, could you give any idea on potentially, is there more to this deal? Could this be even greater than $1 million down the road?
Yeah. So Brandon, thank you. It's a good question. We are one of the main issues that we're facing right now is the sourcing of the raw materials has become challenging due to this situation. Some of that material comes from abroad. India, China, actually primarily India, and so we are seeing some delays. We're expecting to have that order fulfilled over the next month or so, and yes, absolutely, there's more business to be had in the region. It's not only Saudi, but there's other countries in the region, Bahrain, Pakistan. So we're keeping in touch with the local representative. There's a lot of opportunity. Obviously, COVID has created other opportunities as well. So we're trying to track each opportunity at a time. But yes, there's a lot of potential from that area.
Yeah, absolutely. And many companies will have that same issue. Technology, cannabis, nutraceuticals, it doesn't matter what it is. Supply chains all over the world are being disrupted, but we all know those are temporary. We got to wait for that to play itself out and allow those supply chains to start really stop that clogging, get the product back and pushing it forward. Now we were talking about things abroad, but I want to talk a little bit things about right in your neighborhood. You also recently spoke about a manufacturing company that is Montreal based. Do you have any more information that you can go on for that? And is there anything on the revenue side that you might be able to give a projection or just what your thoughts are on that potential acquisition?
Yeah, the that I mean, obviously the conditions in the market have delayed everything from the spin-off of the company to the acquisition. We are now targeting sometime in mid summer if everything goes well, if we can calculate everything properly. The manufacturing company, what we've done is so we're starting to transfer our production over to them. In fact, our first shipment from that manufacturing company is leaving on Monday. The product looks fantastic. Quality is superb. Price-wise, it's very competitive. And the beauty about it is we can just drive over and do a quick overview of what the product looks like, just to do a quick QC and compare the product to the previous one, taste it, making sure that the labels are compliant, the product looks good. So it's a win-win. And one thing that we haven't capitalized yet, and we're in the process of doing it, is the company has assigned to us 400 natural product numbers, so NPN numbers, which means that we're able to sell in Canada. So we are looking now at the first product. It's a vitamin, and so we should see that vitamin coming up soon in the Canadian market space. The other thing is that they have obviously connections with pharmacies, with chains, so brick and mortar stores that we're not used to dealing with, and in the Canadian market space. So I think that's going to create an opportunity as well for us to position the brand in some of these outlets. So that's the update.
No, and I appreciate it. Look, it's been quite some time since we last spoke, so I want to make sure that we went over these because what people always forget is that during turmoil, during downturns in the market, good companies keep pushing forward. They keep finding solutions and they keep trying to create that shareholder value with everything that they can because that's what they need to do. And then once markets start becoming rational again, they start going back to looking for those fundamentals, which is important to have, obviously. And speaking of shareholder value, there's been talks, obviously, about spinning off aspects of your company. Can you give shareholders an update on that and how that provides value to Relevium, but also more importantly, how it can provide value to shareholders as well?
So the theory, I mean, that we based our decision on is that the market was not giving us the right valuation. I mean, the stock is trading. When we decided, it was trading around 2.5, 3 cents, and as you know, we went as low as a cent. So we figured that if we spin off the business into its own entity with a new, more focused vertical and a strategy, we might be able to catch the right valuation for the business, right? And if we do that, then shareholders obviously benefit from, because now the company owns or partially owns an asset that has a much higher valuation. The plan, of course, was to do that in this month, as a matter of fact. But the market, as you know, it's very volatile. It's very difficult right now to get the attention of investors and raise some capital. So we've decided to start looking at a new date for doing it, and that's the process we're in right now. We're trying to figure out when we can complete the transaction in a manner that makes sense. So that's it. So the purpose is we take the assets of the company and we can crystallize the value through a spinoff, and that's where we are.
Yeah, absolutely. And I appreciate that. And speaking of, garnering people's attention, it seems like you've done that. There was a recent news release that came out, and you were talking about how during this time of crisis, companies need to stand up and find solutions for it. One of those solutions is hand sanitizers, something that is obviously very, very prevalent on a lot of people's mind, including investors, because over the last little bit, you've seen millions upon millions of shares trade. I believe there's 26 million shares were traded upon that news. You saw a rise in your share price as well. Can you go over a little bit more about that specific initiative? And has this brought attention back to Relevium that you were desiring and that anybody would like to have?
Yep. In fact, we have a contract manufacturing partner in Florida, and we were discussing the possibility of formulating our own hand sanitizer, and we were able to do so. So we have already placed an order to secure the product, and which is in high demand everywhere. But here's the interesting thing. I mean, we're talking about right now the opportunity, immediate demand. I actually believe that the business of hand sanitizers and anything to do with improved immunity, cleaning yourself, etc., that market is going to remain very strong over the next couple of years. I think, socially speaking, people will be more careful about when they're dealing with each other. I can see people walking into supermarkets naturally after this whole COVID virus is done, wiping their hands before going in, wiping their hands when they come back home, washing their produce properly. So I think this is not, we're not going to see a market that is going to spike and then go down. I think this is going to be a change in the way that we act and we behave. And so we are positioning several products actually to target that market. From new products that address the immunity, obviously the hand gel for the sanitizer. And we are also looking at the possibility of other products that will help sustain your health at home. When we're ready to announce, we'll announce, but that's what we're hoping to do. It's obviously it's in the same business as health and wellness, except that this time is really focused on how to prevent ourselves from getting ill from either bacteria or viruses. So it's an exciting market. Honestly, we were very surprised with the amount of shares that we've traded over the last couple of days. I believe that was a record for us in terms of volume in a single day, 27 million. We're obviously very happy to do. Everybody's happy to see that, and we've seen a revival of our market cap, and that's fantastic. So we're hoping to continue to keep that strong by providing to the market more information about next things to come for the company. We're excited.
Absolutely, and I appreciate that. And that was right along with my very last question. There was, going over all of these elements that we just spoke about, but also going on what to look for in 2020. It sounds like a lot of this is going into new products, potential products to help people at home, like you were just saying, whether it be through sanitization, whether it be through vitamins and different things to boost your immune system. And I agree with you. All those are going to be on the top of everyone's mind long after we stop talking about COVID. We'll still be talking about we still need to be safe with that. So very exciting there, my good man. I appreciate the time you've taken as well. And is there any last thing you'd like to leave off with investors before we wrap up this interview? And it's been fantastic having you on as well.
Well, one thing is obviously we want to thank all our shareholders that have been patiently living through the pain of seeing the company at 1 cent. I typically I'm an open doors kind of guy. I get phone calls all the time from investors, and frankly speaking, I was surprised that most of the calls, 90% of the phone calls, were actually very nice phone calls with ideas on how we should do this and how we should do that, and suggestions. Even today, as I'm sitting here, I'm getting suggestions from all shareholders as to what businesses we should go in and not go in. So that's actually very refreshing in times like this where there is investor frustration, and we're actually receiving some love. So that's very exciting. And lastly, I want to say that there is an opportunity that we're trying to get into, and that has to do with keeping the air safe as well. So one of the things that is coming out right now with this virus and any other future virus, but this one in particular, is that there have been some evidence of contamination by air. And so I think that's an area that's going to become very interesting. So we're doing some work. We will eventually come back to the market and tell you what we're thinking of and what we're doing. But that's a very important part of the market. It's a bit of it's not an ingestible product. It's not something that you would put on yourself. So it's more technology. But we're very excited about it. I think that's going to be a market that goes very well with this whole sanitizer and keeping clean market. So yeah, we're very excited. We look forward to keeping in touch with everyone.
Absolutely, Aurelio. Well, hey, I appreciate very much the time you've taken. Obviously, there's some Easter eggs in there for investors to be looking forward to for some potential products and different things coming down the line. And yeah, I just appreciate the time you take to speak to your investors and look forward to speaking again in the very near future as well.
Brandon, thank you very much. And regards to everyone on the team, please keep safe and stay home.
Absolutely. We will. We will. Take care now, and thank you very much.
Take care.